Hello and welcome to this tutorial. I will be introducing you guys to Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is a cloud platform that helps you build, run, and manage applications and services throughout Microsoft data centers. In this particular tutorial, we'll learn how to set up and introduce ourselves to Microsoft Azure, create an account, log into it, and kind of browse the main portal. Also within that, we will create a resource group which essentially is a folder where we'll keep various resources, and it's a folder that holds virtual machines and the storage accounts and various other services that we can use within the cloud. We'll also learn how to create a storage account and work with uploading files, managing and editing files in there as well. We'll also learn how to create a virtual machine that we can log into either off a Windows or a Mac computer. And also we'll learn how to log into certain machines, use those virtual machines, and then ultimately towards the end of this tutorial, we'll learn how to manage research groups and virtual machines where we're not using, so we're not running up costs on the cloud services that we will be using through Microsoft Azure. Okay, so to get started, you'll need a stable internet connection, a PC or a Mac computer, a internet browser of your choice, and also a credit card. I'm I'm working on a Mac computer, but I'm logged into a virtual machine that uses Windows. So navigate to your closest browser, the ones of your choice, Safari, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, whatever you have, and just search up Azure. I will also put the links in the description for all these websites, and that way you can navigate this very easily. So we'll go to the Azure main portal, and now we will see two options for setting up your account. You have try Azure for free or pay as you go. So here's kind of a breakdown of what this means. With the free account, you'll get a $200 credit that is valid for 30 days, and then you'll have to pick a subscription. Pay as you go is kind of like as you use the services in the cloud, that's what you'll be paying for. Basically, $200 means you'll get a credit for what you use, but basically the way that the cloud works is if you have machines running constantly, it'll cost a lot of money. But if you don't and you constantly stop machines and you pause on things and you delete certain things once you're done with them, then the cost will be very, very minimal. So in order to log into Azure, you'll need to create a Microsoft account. Once you have done that, if you have one already, you can use that in order to create one for Azure. I already have an account created, so I'm just going to log right into it, and this will take me right into the main page of the Azure portal. Okay, so once you are logged into Microsoft Azure, you will come across the portal, the main page of the cloud. This is where everything happens. This is where we can create research groups, we can create virtual machines, virtual networks, and various other things. In this particular tutorial, we will focus on research groups, virtual machines, and storage accounts. So the first thing that we'll be doing is creating a research group. A resource group is basically a folder in the cloud that holds virtual machines, virtual networks, storage accounts, and other created services. And once they are deleted, everything inside the folder gets deleted as well. So we'll click on research groups to create our first research group. Click on create. You will go choose the subscription. It'll be either a subscription or pay as you go option. For this particular research group name, I will name this test RG resource group. You want to navigate to next. These two tabs will basically describe the ownership of the group. It's not necessary for this test, but if you are working in a group of other people and other users, you want to name it, let's say owner, and then put the particular email address associated to that. Then we'll click next again. And here we'll just see basically what is created as your subscription, test RG, and the region we are working in, which is US2. The research group is created. Click on it. And now we have a empty research group. There are two ways to find this group. You can go to the home page and click on resource groups and find it in here, which is test RG. You see I already created other resource groups that I was working on before, but this is the latest one. And when we click on it, we don't have anything in it. Another way to search for it is type it in here, resource groups, type it, click on it, and we see it again here. Okay, so the next step in our tutorial will be to create a storage account. Ultimately, a storage account in Microsoft Azure is a service that provides a secure place to store data like files, blobs, tables, and disks. It's used to manage and access different types of cloud storage in one place. So in order to create that, you can find it right on your portal. You can always search for it in the box. So we'll click on storage accounts. We'll go to create right here on the bottom or right here in the top left corner. Basically, the same rundown as in the resource group. Azure subscription or pay as you go will be the option. Here we want to select the folder that we created for the resource group. And we'll navigate down and name it what we like. For this particular, I will write tester storage account 1. The section here with region is basically where your data will be pulled from. I'm in the East Coast, so US East Coast 2 will be for me. Basically, you want to leave the rest of this stuff blank. The redundancy, I'll explain a little bit what that means. Redundancy is basically where your data is stored. So for the locally redundant storage, which basically means that it stores copies of your data in one data center for protection. Geo redundant storage stores your data in two regions for extra protection. Zone redundant storage is across multiple data center zones in one region for higher availability. And geo-zone redundant storage stores data across zones in one region and also replicates it to another region for maximum durability and availability. In this particular tutorial, we're only going to be storing a text file for testing purposes, so it's not necessary to pick any of these three. You want to just do a basic locally redundant storage one. For the purpose of this test, I know there's other tabs up here that we can work on and work through, but for this particular test, we're just going to click on Review and Create, and we will create again. And now we can see here that it's deploying, which is it's creating. Okay, we see that the deployment is successful, it's complete. Now we can navigate back to home and we can either type in resource group or click it right here. So we'll click on resource group, test RG, remember is the one that we've created. And now we can see in our test RG, we have the tester storage account 1. Okay, for the next part of this tutorial, we'll basically create a file and we'll upload it into our storage accounts that's inside our resource group. And then we can see how that works and how we can edit it inside as well. So navigate to your notepad on your Windows. Type in here, this is a test, and save this on your desktop as a text file that is also named test, and just put it there. Microsoft Azure portal, and into storage accounts, click on our storage tester, and then you will find this in data storage, containers. Click the plus sign in containers, create a new container that's named test. Great. Successfully created. Click on test, and now we'll have the upload option over here. You can either drag and drop or look for the file. This is on our desktop. Now we will upload successfully. And now you can view this and edit it right here by clicking the three dots, view and edit. Now we'll see what we wrote originally in the file. And now we can change it if we want right here in this portal. So this is a test file change. Save it. And now we can download it again. Now it's changed. And now we can see that the original file was manipulated inside the storage account, and we can see how the change has been made. Okay, so in this next portion of the tutorial, we will go over how to create a virtual machine and log into it. I'm currently switched on to my Mac computer, but I will show you guys how to do it from the Mac into a Windows and then from Windows into another system. So now we're back on the Microsoft Azure main portal. We will navigate to virtual machines. We will click on create Azure virtual machine. We will go through the steps as well as the subscription, the resource groups that we already created, which was the test_RG. This virtual machine will call logging into VM or any choice of name you like. US2, we'll keep that as a same kind of zone. And here is what we'll create of the Windows or Linux or any kind of system that you want to log into. So we'll be choosing Windows 10 Pro version 22 H2 x64 Gen 2. Everything else can stay the same as far as this goes, memory and all that. Create a user account. So I'll just name this test user 1. Create a password for it. Create a password that is confirming with it. So basically this username and password is what you will use to log into the virtual machine once you are connected. Remember to check this box right here on the bottom to confirm it. And we can also go through all these steps, which we will just to see what is next. Click on disks, and usually you want to just keep all this stuff pretty much the same. This is only for test purposes, so we'll just go ahead and click and review and create. Now this will take some time just to create itself. We just want to click create again. You will see this deployment is in progress, which means that the VM is creating. And now we can see that the status is running. So what you want to do now is you want to click on log into your VM virtual machine that you just created. And we will take this public IP address and we will use it to log into it. So on a Mac computer, you'll need the Windows app in order to log into the virtual machine. So navigate to the App Store if you don't have it already. Type in Windows app for Mac. It should pop up. Yep, right here. So now we will navigate to find it. And this is what it looks like right here with these four windows. You want to click this Add PC. And now we will copy the IP address that we've created in our virtual machine. So you can take it, copy it this way, or copy the clipboard. And once you copy the IP address into this box, you can click add, and then you double click this, and you'll have to put in the credentials that we used to set up the username and password inside the virtual machine. So mine was test user 1 with the password, and now you can click continue again, and now this is connecting us to our virtual machine that is a Windows off the Mac computer. Now that you're in the virtual machine, you can turn off all these tabs just to get in there, hit accept. And now we are inside a Windows PC. If you're on a Mac, you can use the swipe feature and the 2, 3 fingers on the tab, and you can go in between the Mac and the Windows PC. And in order to log into a virtual machine from a Windows computer, you would navigate down here to the search bar and type in remote desktop connection. And basically, this would work the same way. You would type the IP address into here, you would click connect, and now you would put the username and password that you created for another virtual machine, click OK, and basically you would go into another virtual machine. So this is the way to navigate virtual machines, to log into them. See how Windows already has a remote desktop connection available on their system. On Mac, you have to download the certain application that we discussed, which is this one right here. And you want to log out of here, so you want to just type in log off, and it'll prompt you to this log off command, and basically sign out of this. And the final step in this tutorial will be just to show you to delete everything so you don't have virtual machines running and any kind of things, so you're not paying for them basically. So right now we can see that if we go to our home and we navigate to virtual machines, we will see that I have a virtual machine that's stopped and we have a virtual machine that's running. Both of these I created for this particular tutorial, so I will select them both and I want to just delete them. If you keep them running, then the charges will just go up. So you want to make sure that you delete them. You can click apply force delete, and then you can type in right here delete, have them both selected, and now continue with this. You have to wait a little bit of time for this to finish, but once this is finished, you can go ahead and exit everything out. We also navigate to home and delete the resource group that we've created earlier. So in order to do that, you want to click on the test RG, which is the resource group that we had. And now you want to go to delete resource group. Copy it right here. If you want, you just want to put the name of the resource group that you are deleting and also delete that. So now remember the storage file that we had inside the resource group, that will also get deleted. And the text file that we had inside the storage account will also be deleted. So everything within that resource group will get deleted. So now we can see that the virtual machines got deleted. We're still waiting for the resource group to get deleted. Also, the virtual machines that we've created, they're also deleted. So there's nothing here to display. So ultimately, when you finish tasks, when you finish working with virtual machines or anything in the cloud, you want to make sure that it's stopped running or it's deleted. There are various options to do that, but basically this was the rundown of how to get started on Microsoft Azure, how to work with resource groups, how to work with storage accounts, with editing files, and ultimately creating virtual machines, logging in and out of them, and that's it.